Welcome to the Operation Game Night Podcast, episode 33. I'm your host, Travis Smith. Joining me, as always, is my co-host. You've heard of Bob the Builder. He's what you get when you order Bob the Builder off of Wish. He's Jerry the Job Guy.
Jerry the Job Guy. Hell yeah.
How you doing, Jerry?
Timu Bob the Builder. Is
There
that
you
were you about to hit me with that? Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want to say, Trav, I am so excited for engine builders today. I wore my Red Horse shirt today. Shout out to all the horsemen out there. To the horse.
To the horse.
To the horse.
I was conflicted. I was gonna potentially bust out my Red Horse hat.
Oh,
I didn't want to be like put to shame, and you like call me on my BS because I deployed with those guys, but I wasn't actually assigned. I don't want to catch any flack live on the air. So
hey, there's still time. I could see you as a Red Horse commander. I mean,
the horse.
You got the height for it, and it just rolled off your tongue. You said to the horse, and I'm like, yes, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So, also, Travis, I have the most epic over the fence. You are gonna lose your mind. So, just be prepared for that. I'm just leaving you some breadcrumbs there. So,
should we not bury the lead? Let's talk about over the fence from last week. Wyatt Hendrickson.
Oh my gosh!
Holy smokes!
Yes.
For our listener, Wyatt Hendrickson is a guy, a Air Force lieutenant that went to the Air Force Academy and was a wrestler there. He was phenomenal. He placed multiple times at nationals, but never won.
Yeah, he was a 2-time or 3-time All-American at the Air Force Academy, and so that meant he placed in the top 8 of the nation, but he never quite got to the finals. But he was able to graduate from the Air Force Academy, but still had a year of eligibility because of COVID.
Yep.
And had an awesome opportunity to go to a great school, Oklahoma State.
Okies.
Okie, I mean, kaboom. I don't know if you're supposed to say something when you do the finger guns. And I was on pins and needles the whole time watching that game, watching the match. Did you get to see it? You probably didn't watch it live.
Didn't watch it live, but
way too early for you.
First thing I looked at when we woke up was that match. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh. Round 1, 3 minutes of action in the first round. He got taken down, and he was from behind for the rest of the match until the last 30 seconds. Wyatt goes in on a single leg, and he ain't wrestling no scrub here.
No.
Gable Steveson, he's an Olympic gold medalist, this guy. He played for the Bills. He's a WWE wrestler. Okay. 2 amazing mountains of men and forces of nature. It was beautiful to watch. If you follow us on Instagram, you can see me and Clay absolutely losing our minds when he won that match.
Yeah.
I was telling Clay, I think I paid for the upgraded simulation. I don't know if you believe that we're living in a simulation. We're in the Matrix. The real me is in some kind of Ziploc bag. But I paid for the upgraded simulation where Wyatt, he won the gold. So really cool.
Yeah, that was crazy. And if you have not seen it, I will put a link in the show notes because it's worth watching. It's so good. The announcers are phenomenal. Like the tension beforehand is phenomenal.
Yes.
And then to have it build up in the last 30 seconds. And Gable Steveson has never been taken down. Never been taken down. Yeah, he had never had a takedown against him. And in the last 30 seconds in the national championship match,
dude,
he finally turns that corner, hooks the leg, dumps him.
You can just feel all of America behind him. He got that single leg, and he got 2 hands on it. And I think Gable Stevenson's like, I can just kick this back. I've done this a million times. Yeah. And he tries to kick back, and what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? You know what I'm saying? Collision of titanic forces. That leg wasn't moving. Oh my gosh, getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Again, it's just a week ago, but I digress.
Yeah, I'll definitely link the video in the show notes because it's worth a watch for sure.
Oh yeah, big time.
But let's not bury the other lead, which is we are talking engine builders today. We're going to talk about what they are, why they're so good, and some of our favorites. But before we do that, we're going to debrief our week, and then we are going to go over the fence and talk about what we've been doing outside of board gaming, which I'm very excited to hear about.
Oh yeah.
So, Jared, why don't you debrief your week for me?
All right. So, I mean, I'm just tapping back into a week and a half ago when I was in the Gables basement. We hit up Seven Wonders. This is just a phenomenal game. I mean, dare I say, engine builder, maybe, because what you're doing here, multiple rounds over the course of 3 eras, I believe you call it. Yep. What you're doing is you're spending either coins or resource tags that you currently already have gained by building your engine to buy different other resources to build your engine to essentially build your wonder and build up your army as well. So there's a couple of different phases to it. At the very beginning, the first era, there's not the cards that you're buying are very cheap. The victory points that you're getting, maybe not that big, but you're setting the groundwork for future eras. And I like one of my favorite parts about this Seven Wonders too is it creates that like almost shortcut with some of these cards. You can get specific cards that later on in the game, it's essentially you can get another card for free if you have this card earlier in the game. So like I think one of them is like a stables card. So if you invest in a warrior card, those red ones, I don't know what the official term.
I think they're like warfare card or something.
So they got the red cards with the 2 knives crossed. Like you can get one of them, and if they have a unique symbol on them in the future, if you have a card that has that same unique symbol, you can just gain that without paying those resources. So if you're on our YouTube, you can see, hey, you got wood, brick, there's ore and stuff. And so you're gaining these resources to buy other cards. Another awesome feature of this is you can use your neighbors' resources as well, but you have to pay them. You got to pay them, pay to play. And so you either get the card, you pay the resources either within your own engine, or maybe you have to pay your neighbors for their resources. You can build a wonder of your own. So underneath, you can see the player mats. Each person has a unique wonder, and their wonder gives them also unique powers. Maybe it's just victory points, but maybe it's additional resources to build your engine a little bit more. Maybe it's some more of those warrior cards to help you out in the battles. And you can, it also leads to the end, the last era. You can, score extra victory points if you're able to build your entire 7 wonder. And the warrior cards are pretty unique and cool too, because at the end of each of the 3 eras, you go to battle with your neighbors to the left and the right of you. So obviously you don't want to sit next to Travis because he's going to be very good about what he's handing you, because that's another great feature of this game. You'll get these cards, you'll decide which one you want, and then you pass them to your neighbor. And so if you're sitting next to your neighbors, you're giving them cards. You know what you're giving them because you are looking at them before you slide them over to them. But you also need them in certain situations where you can pay them coins to use their resources. But then at the end of each of the eras, 1, 2, and 3, you have to go to battle with them. So whoever has the most little symbols, the warrior symbols with the knives crossed, you earn victory points if you win, if you have more than them. If you have less than them, you lose points. So, or if you're equivalent, I don't think anything happens, right? You're just at peace.
Yeah, I think it's a tie and nothing happens. Nobody gets advantage.
Have you ever been in a situation where, there's some table talk going on, like, hey, we're not going to war. You don't pick up any. I don't pick up any. We're just going to be chill. Anything like that?
I feel like
are you always going to battle?
I feel like that's happened before, or especially like if they know that somebody's getting close to building a wonder, then they like people on either side will gang up on that one person. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've that's happened to me in Seven Wonders Architects, where you're building your wonder. But that's a little bit different because the game is largely based on luck and which cards come up and when they need it. So not quite as much strategery in that one as there is in OG Seven Wonders.
Yeah. This one, huge fan of Seven Wonders. Carlin, we got shout out to Carlin Olive. She let us stay with her during spring break last week as well. Thank you for letting Jemmy run around the house and destroy everything and, throw water and food. And it was a lot of fun. Carlin loves this game. Huge shout out to the entire Seven Wonders universe. You shouted out Seven Wonders Architects. There's Seven Wonders Duel. Yeah. Also great mechanics that you go back and forth on like a shared pyramid of cards. Like I love it. No wonder this thing won the 2011 Spiel des Jahres.
Yeah,
did I pronounce that right?
Perfect, spot on.
Yeah. But
yeah, dude,
I thought it was so many. Great
Seven
ones.
Wonders Duel, Seven Wonders Babel, Seven Wonders Catan. I didn't know that was a thing.
What?
Armada.
Get out of here.
There's 1,000 of these things. Holy smokes. A lot of these are expansions, but like there's at least 5, 6, 7 different versions of Seven Wonders.
Hey, to the listener, shout us out on Instagram. Tell us what your favorite Seven Wonders is. I'm kind of an OG guy. I did whip up a couple Seven Wonders. I think Travis, send you a Seven Wonders?
I'm in on that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I'm not in the Travis doghouse this week.
Not this week.
I did invite Travis to a BGA event. So I got Seven Wonders rolling on BGA. So I'm excited. Carlin kicked our butts though.
Really?
So there's these green cards. The green cards are, I think they're like science cards.
Yeah, I think so.
You invest in, and I'm going to talk about this later in our main objective, but like you're investing in the end game pretty much. It's like you are trying to diversify and collect specific symbols that give you mega points at the end. But if you don't get the right mix, you might fall flat. So you're giving up short-term wins for long-term just home runs. And let me tell you, she hit them out of the park. So anyways, that's why I was talking some trash in the BGA chat, which I think is public. So I hope people don't just come and snoop in there and look at it. But anyways, Seven Wonders, that's my debrief. It was awesome. I hope to represent well this week in Seven Wonders. We'll see who wins. I'll give you a debrief next week on how we did in our BGA.
I'm a little nervous because I know that Carlin plays this like nonstop on BGA.
Yeah.
And she's gonna get in there and roll us.
Like my like how I treat Lost Ruins is how she her Lost Ruins is Seven Wonders. Like she's taking a poop, Seven Wonders. She's doing cardio, Seven Wonders. So
just always trading cards. Always be trading.
That was right.
Awesome.
Travis, what do you got to debrief?
Well, so you and Clay made the recommendation to bring Rebirth to our game night last week. Huge hit. Tacos were great. We got, we don't really know this couple all that well. Like I work with the wife of that couple. And they were kind enough to invite us over. And so we get over there and we, kind of got through a little bit of awkwardness. Hey, how are you? Like, nice to meet you. And then sat down, enjoyed a meal, tacos. Elote was great. Guacamole, tons of chips, all very good. And then, we kind of talked about board games a little bit. and they have a decent collection. They have like a sizable collection for most people.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, they've probably got 20-ish games to include small boxes. And they said, okay, what game did you bring? I said, I brought Rebirth. Kind of explained the premise. We showed up, we ate, and I taught a game of Rebirth, and we played it in probably an hour and a half. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was a really
awesome,
efficient night.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rebirth was a hit. You know, they
Nice.
really enjoyed the puzzle of it, and I got a little nervous because Janae is her name.
So you played at four players?
We played at 4, and
you played on the Scotland side?
We played on Scotland,
Nice.
and it flew by, and they were like, "Oh, like should we try the Ireland side real quick?" And we're like, "Unfortunately, we are kind of short on time. Gwen was at her limit already, so we had to bail." But it was a good recommendation. It was a hit, so thank you. And then
nice.
We did a bit of a game swap. We let them borrow Rebirth, and they let us borrow Onitama.
Ooh.
And I had asked Clay if he had heard of this. I had never heard of this. I'm not sure how, but they let us borrow Onitama, which is a kind of tactical chess-like game.
Let's see.
Published in 2014. The copy that I have is by Arcane Wonders, but basically it's a like 5v5 chess match, and the movement of your pieces is based on cards.
What?
So what you have is these master monks, master craftsmen, master whatever they are. They're like the main pieces that you need to protect. They are your king on the chessboard. Okay. And they start across from each other on these like arches space. So in the middle of this 5x5 grid, they start in the middle space facing each other. And then flanking those master pieces are 4 monks of the same color. And so what you do is you deal 2 of these cards that dictate the movements of your pieces to each player. And then you have a 5th one that kind of floats in the middle. And so on your turn, you can move one of your pieces according to the cards that you have on your side of the table. And so it might be diagonal. It might be you're skipping spaces. You might be jumping. You might be going backwards. Like there's a couple different options for movement depending on which cards you have. So you pick one, you move one piece accordingly. Then you take that card that you used and you put it on the other side of the mat. And then you drag the one that's kind of the 5th piece or the 5th card that's floating between you two. You then draft that into your pool for movement next time. And so you can kind of like play this game where you are taking moves so that you can block them from taking certain moves later on. And the object of the game is to either wipe out their masterpiece, their king, essentially, or to take your king piece and move him all the way across to the arch's space on the other side of the board.
You put it on the bench?
Yeah, without them being captured.
Oh.
And so it's kind of this cool, like, unique chess style game that you can kind of shake up with these different moves and these different styles of play. And you're kind of playing this strategy like, well, I know that they can only move these ways this time, and I want to prevent them from moving this way next time. So, you're kind of playing both your hand and their hand at the same time to try and protect your pieces and outmaneuver your opponent. So super tight. We played it twice. Rachel whooped me both times. But she always beats me at chess and stuff like that. So yeah, Onitama is a pretty cool abstract chess style tactics game.
I like it. Well, yeah. So that middle, the eel, what you see on the screen here, that one. So could you use it at, like, if it was your turn, could you use that middle one right now?
No, or so that one's kind of in limbo.
Drawn. Okay.
So if let's say I'm the red piece, I have rabbit and cobra.
Or cobra, yeah.
So I pick one of these two to do.
Yeah.
I move my piece accordingly. Then I take the card that I used and I move it to the middle to replace the eel, and then the eel comes to me next time.
Oh.
So then they have the option to play from their side, which is Mantis and what is that on the other side? Ox.
Yeah.
So then they take either Mantis or Ox, and then they move that card out, and then they get whatever one I use.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're kind of passing these cards back and forth. It's a little bit of like beer and bread, kind of like swapping. You're playing your opponent and trying to block them from making moves. So it's pretty cool. It's a good, quick 2-player game, and I think we might end up with a copy of this at some point because it's pretty awesome.
Nice. Does any fresh blood, like any fresh moves, enter the game, or is it just those 5 different moves the whole time?
Honestly, it's just those 5 moves.
Oh wow!
And then you swap those cards out between games. But I think it's better that way. There's probably like a variant where you're swapping cards in constantly, but it's really hard to set up shots or set up these different maneuvers if you don't know what's coming next. So that would probably introduce too much randomness, but these games are so fast that you play with just those 5 and then you scoop them all up, you can set them aside, and there's a whole bunch of different cards in this box to keep it fresh. Right. So plus I think they have a different expansion too that introduces a whole bunch of different cards and maybe a new way to win.
Yeah. I love how quick it is. I mean, even on BGG saying it was only 15 minutes and super lightweight too. Like, the weight was probably 1 something, like
15 to 20 minutes. Super easy.
That's awesome.
You could teach this game to anybody and they would pick it up. It's just like a stylized chess. If they understand chess, even if they don't understand chess, you're just moving a piece according to the card and then swapping that card with the one in the middle. And that's the whole thing. So easy to navigate, easy to understand, and super quick to play.
Dude, I bet you Janae is a beast at this too. Janae's
probably.
Yeah. And Daniel, they're incredibly intelligent people. So I bet you who won Rebirth? I bet you, I don't know. Rachel probably. She's pretty crafty.
No, I won.
What?
Come on.
You won?
Yeah, I won.
Nice.
Janae was making a serious move on these castles. She was really gunning for castles.
Yes.
I think we ended up tying for castles because I was able to loop in a couple at the very end down in the southern region along the border. So I got a couple of those. And then honestly, I think I had more of the Abbey cards, like contributing to Abbeys. You get the end game cards. I had like probably 6, 7 of those by the time we were done. So those gave me a boost and I ended up winning.
Dude, I love Rebirth. So my mother-in-law's in town. I think like Adri, she seems a little wishy-washy on Rebirth. I think I might be able to get my mother-in-law to play Rebirth with me. So
you should try.
I don't know. Maybe.
That'd be an interesting experiment. Like, can anybody, like, I'm assuming that she is not a gamer.
No. No.
Like, can anybody just pick this up and have a good time, regardless of how much game experience they have?
I know. It's like pick up a tile, lightning bolt, or plant.
Yeah.
Go.
Done.
You know? Or building, I guess. So
you should give it a shot.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Ready to do mission objective?
Let's roll out.
Let's do it. Today we're talking engine builders. So engine builder is a style of game. I'm not going to say a mechanic because it's not really a mechanism, but it is a style of game where you are either gathering resources that you then trade in to accomplish a goal, some sort of end goal, or you are making those trades to become more efficient at gathering resources that then get you closer to a goal. And so I kind of did a little bit of research because we kind of lump in engine builders into this kind of like generic mechanism. But really, it's a style of game where you are exchanging resources for a more efficient process of exchanging resources. And so usually the typical like attributes of an engine builder is you start off really slow and unable to do a whole lot during your turns. Then as you start to accrue resources and start to exchange them, you're becoming more efficient and you can do more and more and more every single turn. I think like the purest example of this is probably like Splendor. Splendor is you collect those little chips that represent gems. Then on your turn, you are exchanging those gems for cards, which represent permanent gems. And so you need less and less chips to purchase more and more cards that earn you more and more points as you go along. You can go all the way back to like Monopoly. Monopoly is an engine builder where you are exchanging the money that you have for properties that then earn you more money, that get you more properties, and it's all about who has the most amount of money. So,
yep.
What were you going to say?
So I was going to say, I try and look for engine building in almost every game that I play. I like that you brought up that it's not necessarily a mechanism. I was even thinking, again, I hate that I always just blab on about Arnak, but I like to think of building my engine as you got to get more cards in your hand that have more ability. So I like to think of engine building as like investing. I'm investing now I could do this action, which gives me something, an instant gratification maybe, but instead I'm going to go spend my coins on this card, which I might not even get to see for another round or two, but it's going to give me this ability later, which sets me up for a better position later on in the game. And I can do something really cool. And chain reaction is another great option, ability of an engine builder where you're investing in an option to unlock a new ability to do another thing. But Travis, you strike me as someone who has worked on a car or two.
From time to time.
Is that a true statement? Have you ever built an engine?
I have not built one from scratch, no, but I've done plenty of modifications to said engines.
Oh, so I mean, still, that's building an engine.
Same.
Same. You ever, put a new air filter on? I feel like that's still building an engine, right? I mean, I guess that's more maintenance, but I don't know, just doing things like that to help your performance of your motor.
That's great.
Well, so my dad, he was an F4 mechanic way back in the day. He was in Air Force Reserves. So he's a big engine builder himself. I've seen I don't know crap about internal combustion engines, but he could tear apart this motor and all the pistons and the lift rods and the camshaft. Everything's pulled apart, laid everywhere, and then put it all back together.
Wow.
But you can invest in these little pieces of this motor as you're putting it back together to give you better performance. And I don't know, that's a little touch of Ericsson there for you.
Yeah.
When I think about engine builder, you're let's put a higher performance piston in this engine, so I can, get a little bit more bang every time.
Yeah.
We put some juice in this cylinder. Boom.
Yeah. So you mentioned Arnak and being able to kind of tailor your deck so that you can get more efficient. And that's kind of an interesting take on engine building is the deck builder or the bag builder, where you are thinning out your decks or culling your bag of dice or whatever it is that you're pulling out in order to become more efficient. That's the same style of engine builder, but you might not have to sacrifice resources to cast out different cards from your deck or whatever. One of the examples that I saw when I was kind of doing my research was Star Realms, which was then later adapted into the Star Wars deck building game. Same exact thing, right? You start with this kind of trash deck that you use as resources and attacks and different things like that to manipulate the game space, to earn resources, to get better cards off of the realm out in the middle or the galaxy deck or whatever. So then you're drafting those cards into your discard, and you might be able to use those to thin your deck out. So you're building this engine slowly, but you have to use those cards as resources to then do that. So same exact concept, but it's just not, they added that kind of twist that it's the deck that you're looking at as your engine or your bag or whatever it is. So,
well, Clay, when Clay's listening to this, we played some awesome, it was legit, just pure engine building. And it was steampunk themed. And you literally are you start this process. I think it's a factory of some kind.
Okay.
And it literally is you put something in here and it doubles, and then it changes here, and you can essentially grow your resources as you go through your factory.
Yeah.
He's gonna listen to this and be you dummy, it's this thing. But that was when I think of like off the top of my head, one of the like purest form of an engine builder.
Yeah.
And you would get like victory points for being able to lay this part of your factory down or like incorporate it into your process or whatever. He's going to have to come off next week and beat me up about it. But
yeah,
I just like and how fitting today, two engineers talking about engine builders, like the efficiency of like, how do I squeeze as much bang for my buck out of this like move or resource or whatever. It fits well into like my thought process, like my daily job, essentially. Like,
totally.
Oh yeah, I love me some engine building for sure.
Because what you're really doing is you're calculating rates, right? Or you're calculating rates, you're calculating risks. You're trying to maximize your turn with minimizing your exposed risk. You are making these trade-offs from a moment to moment in the game in order to maximize your effects at the end. So awesome.
Yep.
So
I love it.
You love a good engine builder. I love a good engine builder. Talk to me about some of your favorite engine builder games.
So you had mentioned Splendor already.
Yep.
We have been playing something simple. Gives me Splendor vibes. That Gizmos game.
Yes.
That we've
Phil
been
Walker
playing.
Harding.
Oh my gosh.
We love Gizmos.
Dude. I want still, I think I said it a couple weeks ago. I still want to play this damn game in person because I just want to stick my grubby little hand in the top of that pot to grab me a little marble. I think it's so cool. Like you can invest in this card that'll like double your blues. Like you get a blue marble, but now you invested in buying this widget, and now all your blue marble. Well, you can do it once for every tile you have. Like now I can essentially turn one of my blue marbles into two blue marbles, which then lets me buy another thing, which then maybe it increases my capacity to hold more marbles, or maybe now every time I pick up a yellow marble, now it lets me draw two from the top, or every time it like Gizmos is probably one of the coolest engine builders that you guys have only like in the last couple of months introduced me to.
Yeah.
I haven't played in person, and I would really like to. Have you played that one in person?
Yeah, Clay and I played that like back to back to back at Dice Tower West when we went. Because we just like could not get enough of that. It's like It's like if you took Splendor and you just like it's like Splendor on steroids, right? They took the decision process that you're making in Splendor and they just like amped it up to 11, because not only can you like draft little marbles, which feels good, but you can start reserving early and file those away. And it's not like filing burns your turn, because if you build up your engine enough, filing can get you 3, 4, 5 different effects. And so you're like constantly doing stuff more and more and more each turn. And you get to a point where you're like, I have too much to do. Like, then you really need to narrow down exactly what you want to accomplish on that turn. It's so clean. It's perfect. And Paul Solomon gushed about that game too when he came on.
Paul. And I was honestly, when I was doing my prep for this, I was thinking about Paul. I like, he loves a good engine builder. Like, I know any of these guys that are making these, like producing games, that it's always in the back of their mind. Like, and just thinking back to our conversation with him makes me all sorts of giddy. But going back to Gizmos though, there is like, it is so cool. I was thinking one of the coolest mechanisms I think in that game is being able to look into, like, I think it's got a name, like research. You can like go into the undisplayed piles, because like usually there's only like 5, like 2 or 3 or 4 visible that you can choose from to build your engine, these tiles that you can choose from, but you can research and grab from the exposed tiles. You can look at them and you're like, which one do I want to keep? And then I think you have to file it, or do you have to play it right away, or maybe you can do either one. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it depends on the card that you've built or the tile that you've built. But yeah, researching is like a cool, unique advantage that doesn't exist in many engine builders like that, where you can just get a sneak peek or you can go specifically looking for something that you want. Yeah, that stuff's great.
And then you just put them back, take the one you want.
Yep.
Well, my dumbass, I bought a tile one time that I gave up my ability to investigate or research. I didn't even think that was possible, but I did. It got me like 7 victory points, but like I could no longer investigate for the rest of the game. I was like, what? And it kept telling me on BGA, it's like, no, you that ability has been locked.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I didn't realize what I did. I shut down my engine.
Yeah.
So like maybe that's another thing. Like, but it's a trade-off. Everything in the engine builder is a trade-off. Like, what are you giving up to get later? And so it's all about, optimization. So
maybe that's why engine builders are so popular and why they resonate so clearly with everybody. It's because engine builders are like a microcosm of life. You're making choices on how to get ahead in life on a day-to-day basis, where you invest your time, where you invest your energy. Do I go out and I practice tuba when I have no aspirations of being a tuba player? Or do I sit down and study and be a better student, right? Like you have decisions.
Did you play tuba?
I did not play tuba. I played the trombone, but that was like for 2 years.
I wanted to play trombone when I was a kid.
Really cool kids.
Dude, I love ska music myself.
Oh, yeah.
When I get to hear the bone every now and then.
Whew. Oh, yeah. Gets you hyped.
So when I was in elementary school and in middle school, I played percussion.
Okay.
And then I got into ska music and I was like, you know what? Maybe let me try. What should I try? And I was like, the trumpet sounds like maybe a little too hard.
Yeah.
Let me try tuba. I tried tuba for 1 year, 8th grade. Well, it turns out that you have to know how to read music. I didn't know how to read music. So I used to just write down which finger to press.
I did the same thing. This trombone has positions, and I would just
how do you know which, like 1, 2, like that's a variable. There's not a button there. Like that's pretty tough.
You just got to kind of like get close enough, right? So it was like 1 to 6 was like all the way extended. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's like 6 is fully extended, and you just kind of break it up into that amount of distance, and then you just have to get close enough. I mean, you're an elementary school band, so it's not like
dude, it's
not the Philharmonic.
I didn't know you played the trombone. Dang.
I heard. I saw a post the other day that said ska music is what plays in a junior high school kid's head when he gets an extra mozzarella stick at the pizza place.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, that checks. That checks.
All right. Well, the group chat's going to be full of ska memes and ska music.
Perfect.
Yes, but
okay. So lately, you've been loving Terraforming Mars.
Oh my gosh,
engine builder.
I wrote that down. How did I not bring that up?
So Terraforming Mars, great. You're exchanging heat and metal and all sorts of alloys and water, and you're exchanging all of these different resources in order to develop this system, both collaboratively and competitively, right? To get ahead. I have a game that I would like to play with you when I get to Alabama.
Yes.
Have you heard of Underwater Cities?
No, I have not.
Okay. Underwater Cities was touted as like the Terraforming Mars killer. Because you are building out an underwater city on this giant grid. So you're exchanging resources to build the domes that people will live in and the little like tunnel ways between them, and to do research and to feed your people and to give them air and oxygen and plants. And that might be a game that I ship you. Underwater Cities by Delicious Games.
Okay.
And they also have an expansion that is called New Discoveries, and both games are rated. Underwater Cities is 8.0. Underwater Cities New Discoveries 8.5 on BGA. A little bit heavier.
Whoa.
It takes a little bit of time. It's like 30 to 45 minutes per player. But this game is touted as the Terraforming Mars killer. So maybe I'll ship that to you and we can get a game of that in while I'm there for big boy game night.
Okay. I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Because, I can't believe when you asked me my favorite engine builder, I skipped over Terraforming Mars. Like, when I think of original gangster, OG engine builder, I sort of thought maybe even Catan, maybe.
Yeah, that is an engine builder.
Setting up your cities and to get the right resources in the right locations and making decisions about where do I want to get more resources and set up my cities and settlements and cities, right? But then when I thought about like, what is right now, what do I think is the ultimate engine builder? Holy smokes. Terraforming Mars. When you get those little blue cards out there and they have all those extra effects, I get so excited about all the extra effects. I get excited about putting out the blue cards for all the extra moves and actions you can do. And then like just building up all your extra resources that you can get every time, the production, and then like maybe reducing production to go up in production in a different area. So Underwater Cities, I'm looking at it right now. I'm excited. So
Also, the hotness here in OGN has been Agricola. Agricola is getting a relaunch. That's a great engine builder where you're gathering your sheeps and your goats and your cows and your families and your workers and your wood, and you're exchanging all of those every single turn. And the decisions that you make get more and more complex every single turn. Agricola is a great engine builder.
And Feast for Odin.
Feast for Odin, a little bit.
And getting those extra islands and sheds and covering up or surrounding those items so that you can get extra resources between rounds. Engine builder. Boom.
Engine builder. I'm trying to look at a list of like the top ones, and also new hotness, the span games, Wingspan, Finspan.
Yep.
Okay, we gushed about Finspan a couple weeks ago. You're putting birds down that then play off of each other. So that's kind of an interesting like distinction too, is tableau building versus engine building, because like it says Wingspan, you're playing those cards down, the cards play off of one another to get you more resources later on. It also says like Everdell is an engine builder because you're building out your city and the cards play off of one another. It's kind of the same thing, right? Like worker placement mixed with resource management, mixed with tableau building. That's why I say it's not a specific mechanism. It's like a style of game where you just get more and more and more and more and more complex turn orders.
So, I mean, maybe that's something as a board gamer, if you want to up your gaming, like you focus more on your engine building, like abilities, or you like, you take more risks and have a longer term, or just have an open mind when you play. I don't know. I'm going to dog on Clay because sometimes he just doesn't think about building his engine. I mean, he just wants to do something cool. And I'm over here trying to, what do you like the beautiful mind thing? All the numbers are falling around and trying to do way too much, and maybe I get lost in the sauce. But I don't know. I love you, Clay. But
yeah, man, there's so many great engine builder games out there, and we love them all. Are we ready to go over the fence? You got any more on engine builder?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Crushed it.
I'm excited to hear about your over the fence. So tell me what is so exciting?
So yesterday I finished my spring break. I had an awesome time. Colorado Springs, went to DC, got to see the beautiful cherry blossoms. Everything is beautiful up there right now. Well, I was in BWI, and my doctor called me on a Saturday. And I'm like, what the heck? What the heck's going on? I don't know how to tell you this, but there might be a third hose. I'm still very potent. Okay. I don't know what happened. He said this is the first time it's ever happened to him.
What?
It was a missed spot. It's a botched vasectomy.
Wow.
And he thinks he called it an auxiliary cord. There might be a third hose. Okay.
A phantom hose.
A phantom hose. So I got to go to a specialist. Tay, I hope you're listening.
Wow.
So
that's while you're in there, go ahead and check for extra hoses. I feel like that would be step one. Like, let's gather all the hoses together and then tie them all off in a knot. Oh my God.
So yeah, it's wild times, but I'm gonna have to go to a specialist. The story continues, guys.
Wow.
I don't know what to tell you.
At this point, they'll just put like a miniaturized little garden hose reel in there, and they'll just reel you up for safekeeping. You got so many hoses floating around. Jeez.
That could be the new, I don't know, Operation Game Night, alternate logo, maybe?
Yeah,
a hose
I like
reel.
It. A little garden hose. I like a leaky hose. Is like just got like a little trail of water coming off. Oh my God.
Well, I was blown away. I was getting a phone call from the base, and I'm like, oh man, something must be wrong. Or like, I'm like, it's a Saturday. Yeah. What is happening? It's my doctor, which shout out to, my doctor working on a Saturday. Like,
yeah,
he must be dedicated or really behind. And the government, the military healthcare system really backlogged. So bless those healthcare workers. Thank you for busting your ass. But yikes. So anyways.
Well, when you go back in and they go to fix this thing, just tell them to treat it like a tourniquet, like high and tight, clamp it off. We're doing T C here. We are under fire.
Yeah,
clamp it high and tight and deal with it later.
You just want to remove the key parts. You don't want to kill everything off. There's still important bits down there. Okay. So
you don't know how many hoses. Maybe it's branching off into these separate hoses. You got to clamp it high and tight. And
I don't know. If any of our listeners are vasectomologists, I think it's just a urologist. Yeah. I don't know. Just hit me up. Let me know. Well, anyways, Travis, do you have any garden hose? What was your over the fence? Hopefully not.
I was going to say that your doctor missed an important window, because if he would have given you this news like a month ago, you could have gotten clamped before March Madness. No. Did you know that like the number of vasectomies goes way up before March Madness?
Really?
Yeah, because like doctor's orders, you're supposed to sit on a couch and just do nothing with a bag of peas, right? And so people do it right before March Madness so that they can get all the games in.
Oh, doctor's orders. Sorry, babe.
Doctor's orders.
I gotta watch March Madness. Have you been watching March Madness?
Well, it's a little hard because all the games are on at 2 a.m. or whatever. But been kind of keeping up with it. We watch the highlights every morning. So my brackets are doing really well. I am at like 90-some%. I'm in second place in one of my like bracket pools, and I think I'm in third place in my other. So this is like
nice,
the best I've ever done across the board for March Madness. And
I feel like I forced you into that over the fence. What's your real over the fence?
Oh, we got family visiting, and we're packing up our house, and nothing exciting. March Madness is here, and we're excited about that. Wyatt Hendrickson is a national champion. We're excited about that.
Yes, huge.
Life is good. Nothing else to report.
Good.
Awesome.
I mean, I'm just still blown away that I have amazing co-hosts. I guess I'm not really a co-host. What do you?
Yeah, you are. Host. You're a co-host.
I've never hosted one of these.
Well, should we start over? Let's go back and record from the beginning.
Let's just
take it from the top.
All right. Let's just restart. Can you hit the button again?
Dun, 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 dun.
I got one guy who's a Hall of Famer, one guy who's a gold medalist. You're gold medalist.
I mean, not really.
I'm going to start addressing you guys as the Hall of Famer and the gold medalist. And I got the 5 milli. Okay. We got the 5 milli.
Gold chain, medalist, gold medal, Hall of Famer.
I mean,
the Golden Boys. Stay golden.
Oh my!
Stay golden, Golden Boys.
The golden hose. Yep. Can't be broke.
I am getting more and more excited for Big Boy Game Night when we get out there.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I'm so excited now. I'm going to ship you a whole bunch of games, and you're going to get a massive box that's just like ready for Jared to play games.
Done.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
I cannot wait, honestly. And like I told you, June is looking like prime game time.
Oh yeah.
So just every time that you come over to play a game, you will be required to pack one box.
Oh, perfect. Bet. Bet. Give me a big comforter to shove into a box and I'll tape it shut. Perfect.
Done. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, did we do it?
I think we did it. Built that engine.
Episode 33 in the books for Operation Game Night. I have been Travis. He has been Jared, or Jerry the Job Guy. And we are out.
Out.